And so, right in the middle of this movie, you know, Billy Shore said, "Hey, we've got a great opportunity for you to speak at these, you know, these conventions." I go, "Oh, you know," and play music in the Democratic convention. You can play, open for James Taylor. And I said, "Oh, that's great." And I'm thinking, "Oh, but I gotta prepare, I gotta do this speech." And I said, "Well, write me up the thing, and I'll look at it." So he writes me this, you know, thing is like 4 pages. This is like a I'm looking at it like a monologue for a thing, and I pass it to different advisors. I don't know if I passed it to you, Bert, but I passed it around. So you guys got any ideas, and how does this look? And I worked on it like I was working on a scene in a movie, and it's still, I couldn't get it any smaller. It was about 4 pages, and I memorized the thing. And now it's the Republican convention, and as you know, in the movies, you get takes, you know, you get, you know, 1 or 2, however many takes it takes, but not in life, you know, this is it, you're not going to get up. And at the meeting, the idea is I'm going to meet in a room, and in my mind it was about a room like this, you know, with all governors of all the, you know, Republican governors, and I'm going to present this thing trying to get them to come on board, and the chairman of the Republican governors, his state is on board. So he was going to introduce me, and it's going to be at 10 o'clock at night. And I said, "That's an interesting time to have this, you know, meeting. Isn't that? They're going to be kind of tired." He said, "Oh no, this is the convention. This is the way they do it." And I said, "Okay." And so now they're going to take me the day before. They're going to show me the venue of the thing, and it's a bar. Gee, they're all going to be drunk. You know? And then I've got that thing, and then after that I'm going to go across the street to another venue and give a talk to all the No Kid Hungry folks, and there might be some more governors there. And so I went over to look at that venue, and that was a bowling alley with a bar in the bowling alley. And then, so now the next day, I said, "I'll do it. I'm just, you know, I'll go wherever you take me, you know." And so now it's the next day, and you know, 10 o'clock comes about. No, they're not ready. 10:30, 11, 12. You know, finally it's about 12:30, and the bar deal is canceled. It's all going to be in the bowling alley now. And I said, "Okay," you know, and you know, the Republican you know, governor gives his introduction, a beautiful one, and I look out of the corner, and he splits, he takes off, and I realize I'm talking, and I'm looking for a governor. There's no governors there. It's all these college girls. And what do? You know, I've memorized my speech, and by God, I'm going to say my governor's speech. So I'm sitting there talking to all these girls, you know, and you know, treating them as if they're governors, and it was a total fiasco. But as I pointed out in the book, you know, who knows what, you know, those college girls, you know, you can't put down the college girls, maybe they're going to, you know, save the whole thing right there. But it was completely, you know, not what I expected. But you know, it's so funny. But it's so funny. You know, one of the things I'm into Buddhistly is. Buddhistically or Buddhistly? What do you say?
Either way, dharmically.
Is this lojong deal, you know, kind of leaning into those challenges. So I found that I learned a lot about that. You know, I felt like, you know, a quarterback who's a plays, you're in the huddle and you say, "Okay, you're going to go out for that long ball," you know. And he says, "All right, hip break and a hike," and now the guy goes out and you see he's covered. Well, you don't throw the ball, man, you know, but here I'm at the, you know, the governor, I'm going to throw the governor ball. So you got to, you know, he said, "Oh, you got to be facile, man, you know. You know, new shit is constantly coming to light."
That's a chapter. That's a chapter in the book.
Yeah.
Hey, you know,
that kind of limits you in a way, you know. I mean, I've always, I remember my father, you know, in Seahawk, he did such a wonderful job playing Mike Nelson that people thought he was Mike Nelson. They thought he was a skin diver that they taught to act. So he pulled that thing off so well, you know. And it was great for our family. We got money and all that. We got moved to a nicer neighborhood and all that. But as I was growing up and watching him, I saw how that kind of hemmed him in, because my father, you know, for those of you who've seen Airplane, you know, he's a comedian, he studied Shakespeare, he against Richard Kiley on Broadway, Man of the Martian. And I could see that when he did play Mike Nelson, well, he got a lot of skin-diving scripts. You know, people thought, oh, that's who he is, and so earlier on in my career, I was concerned about developing a strong persona and went kind of the other way. I really went out of my way to not do that and take on many different roles to kind of pleasantly confuse the audience so they could, you know, imagine me as that character and not think of, you know, oh, that's that name, he's the dude. You know, but now as I'm older, I really don't care that. I've kind of done my thing, and now I'm just, you know, I'm running victory laps.
You know, one of the...
Coleman said, let's not show them do bowling, they shot him bowling. But the story, you know, I was concerned. I wanted to do it because there's so much of his life was around bowling. I wanted him to, you know, really, you know, get into that. And I could bowl a little bit, but nothing like to do. So the Coen brothers hired this champion bowler. And he was going to teach, you know, Buscemi and John Goodman and myself how to bowl. And so we're there, and he's got an assistant there with him, you know, his aide. And I asked him, I said, you know, how do you think the dude would bowl? Is it kind of like a, you know, an Art Carney kind of thing? You know, like Ed Norton, you know, you guys know the Honeymooners, you know, he'd be signing anything you take. Yeah. Finally, Jackie Gleason would say, sign the paper. You know, I said, could it be like that? And as I'm describing this, I see his aide goes, and the master is kind of looking a little weird. I said, what's going on, guys? He goes, nothing. He can't stop laughing. I said, come on, what is it? And the master says, go and tell him. And the guy says, no, you tell it. And he finally says, well, he says, it's like, you know, Zen in the art of archery. You know, you've got to get your head in place before you even cock your hand back to, you know, to throw the ball. You've got to get your head all set, you know, and right, and be one with the whole thing, and see the pins down and everything. And he would get on these big tournaments, and he would be up there, and he would have all these, you know, little twitches and little things that he would do, you know. And the guys on the bench were like, throw the ball! And they went off for like, you know, 5 minutes. And I said, well, what did you do? You know, he says, well, I had to go to a shrink, and it was a very serious thing, because this guy was a champion. I said, well, how do you do it now? You know, and he says, I just throw the fucking ball.
Ya va a estar